2024 is set to be a year packed with events that will capture our attention. Here at Be Briefed, we've handpicked the most impactful happenings that reflect pivotal moments in shaping our world. Each event, in its own way, contributes to defining the global narrative of 2024, influencing international relations, setting precedents, and inspiring future generations. So let's take a closer look at what 2024 has in store. 2024 is going to be a record-breaking election year. Half of the world's population will be affected by electoral events in the upcoming year. As many as 70 elections across 40 countries will take place. India, Russia, the European Union, and the US are home to nearly 2.3 billion people, with a total GDP of approximately $42 trillion, and can be highlighted as the major elections next year. While we all know who will win Russia's presidential election, there's still a question about the American one. Will it be Republicans or Democrats? Donald Trump or Joe Biden? A Democrat win would likely mean a continuation of Biden's policies, maintaining the current trajectory of economic management, focusing on issues like climate change and clean energy. In contrast, a Republican win, especially with Donald Trump, could see a reversal of some of Biden's reforms, focusing less on clean energy and potentially lowering incentives in this area. On other domestic issues like healthcare, migration, and LGBTQ rights, a Democrat administration would likely continue to support and expand healthcare access, maintain liberal migration policies, and uphold LGBTQ rights. A Republican administration may adopt more conservative stances on these issues, potentially rolling back some of the current policies in place. Geopolitically, a Democrat victory would likely mean continued support for Ukraine and a focus on multilateralism and international cooperation. A Republican win, particularly with Trump, could lead to reduced support for Ukraine, increased tensions with the EU and NATO, and a more unilateral approach to foreign policy. Right now, one thing is sure: this is going to be an interesting year for the whole world. Donald Trump is a busy man and is set to be even busier in 2024. As the frontrunner for the Republican nomination in the 2024 U.S. presidential race, he will be attending court frequently, with his trial dates coinciding with key election dates. Starting in January, as the Iowa caucuses commence, Trump will face a civil case for defaming writer E. Jean Carroll and a class action lawsuit alleging a pyramid scheme involving his company. In March, potentially aligning with the Super Tuesday primaries, his federal trial related to the January 6th events may begin. He is also scheduled for the New York State hush money case in the same month, with hearings for the classified documents case following in May. Additionally, Georgia prosecutors are planning to initiate his trial there in early August. Trump's most significant legal challenge might emerge in Georgia, where District Attorney Fani Willis accuses him of participating in a broad conspiracy to reverse the state's election results. This case, under state jurisdiction and unaffected by federal authority, will continue even if Trump is elected president and can dismiss federal cases against him. These cases are expected to significantly influence the 2024 presidential campaigns. They challenge the legal system's ability to hold a former president accountable, while also playing into Trump's narrative of being a continuous victim of political vengeance. While some polls show Trump leading Joe Biden in a general election matchup, others indicate that a significant number of Trump-leaning voters might support Biden if Trump is convicted.
Left. Will you shut up, man? Listen, who is on your list, Joe? Who's on your list?
With no indications that the geopolitical state of the world will become less intense in 2024, 31 NATO countries and Sweden will conduct the biggest NATO military exercises since the Cold War. The drill will take place across Germany, Poland, and the Baltics in February and March to practice how the alliance would attempt to repel Russian aggression against one of its members. The exercise is expected to involve about 41,000 military personnel, between 500 to 700 air combat missions, more than 50 ships from all NATO member states, and Sweden. The biggest military drill will also incorporate real-world geographical data to create more realistic scenarios for troops. This has never been done before. Of course, there's little doubt that the military exercises of the Western world will go unanswered, as we will be seeing the Eastern Bloc doing the same thing. On December 19th, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, a Russian-led military bloc, announced plans for 7 exercises among its members over the course of 2024. The drills will take place in Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. It's been 100 years, and the Summer Olympics are back in Paris. Or it will be in 2024, to be precise. More than 10,000 athletes from 206 national Olympic committees will be competing. The organizing committee for the Olympic Games just recently announced that Paris is ending 2023 with 84% construction completed. 7.6 million tickets have already been sold, but Paris is hoping to sell 10 million tickets in total for the July 26th, August 11th Summer Games. So with almost 2.5 million tickets left, if the entire city of Chicago decides to go to the Olympics, they can still get the tickets. Paris, known for its profound sporting heritage and cultural importance, is anticipated to offer an extraordinary setting for this international event. Paris is also aiming to be the first gender-equal Olympic and Paralympic Games. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, announced that at the 2024 Games, there will be an equal number of men and women athletes, and the same number of events for men and women. Without a doubt, the Paris Olympics will be the main sports event of 2024, but not only for sporting reasons. The IOC allowed Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete in the Olympics as neutrals, as long as they have not supported the war in Ukraine. There's a chance that, with this decision, we might be seeing some athletes or even countries boycotting the Olympics. While boycotts may not be an unprecedented occurrence in history, the 2024 Olympics could reveal not just the world's top athletes, but also influence how the sports community responds to aggressors. Year 2024 will be full of significant scientific research. It is too early to determine whether next year will bring answers to the universe's unanswered questions, but the world will continue its quest for the truth. One of the most exciting scientific events of the upcoming year is the Artemis II mission. For the first time since the 1970s, NASA is launching a crewed lunar mission. Artemis II could launch as soon as next November. And the Orion spacecraft will carry 4 astronauts, 3 men and 1 woman, for a 10-day flyby around the moon. Christina Koch will become the first woman astronaut ever assigned to a lunar mission, while Victor Glover will be the first black astronaut on one. The astronauts won't land on the moon, but their mission will pave the way for Artemis III missions, which are scheduled in 2025 and also aim to land the first woman and first person of color on the surface of the moon. The Artemis II mission will aim to hit 4 major metrics of readiness, according to the Canadian Space Agency: mission planning, system performance, crew interfaces, and guidance and navigation systems. In 2024, we will also be seeing more moon missions.
Next, we are going to steal the moon!
China is also preparing to launch its Chang'e 6 lunar sample return mission. If successful, the mission will be the first to collect samples from the far side of the moon. These 5 events are just a small glimpse of how 2024 looks like, but it sure will be an interesting year. Will you be following these? Stay tuned, as they promise to make headlines and spark conversations worldwide.